Hey guys, we're going to have a look at building patterns, okay? Now, this one is as tricky as you want to make it, okay? Now, what we might start off with is the A minor scale up in the E position, okay? It's a nice big one and pretty easy to get the hang of. So, all right, there's our first octave. Now, when building a pattern, what you really want to look at is your intervals, okay? And a really good understanding of the modes helps this. So if I'm looking at my intervals and I think, all right, what do I want to create in my pattern? Now, knowing which interval you hit changes how colorful or how crisp something is. So if I'm going to use my fifths, the fifths are pretty much standard across all the modes except for the Locrian. And if we're in the minor, you'll hear this straight away. Okay, so if I'm doing my fifths, I'm going to go from my first to the fifth, and it's only on this next one, which is the Locrian mode. So we've started an Aeolian. That one's got that flat fifth in it. Okay, the rest are crisp. Okay, so doing that 1/5 digital pattern, super crisp apart from that single note. And of course you can run them backwards. Alright, so there's a nice crisp one. And then say we want to think of something a little bit more complex, we can have a look at adding a fourth into it. So the fourth is pretty similar to the fifth in the sense of it's essentially the same interval. It's just got that one variation in it. Okay, so that happens on the fourth mode. All right, and that's right up the guitar. But we're going to move down the guitar. You've got to have a look for it, okay? So let's just look at our fourths, okay? And it's pretty easy. Right underneath. And it's here. Okay, it's just that one note that's got that sharp 4. Okay, then. So if we're going to move up in our fourths, it's going to have that nice crisp interval again. So So you've got your fifths and fourths. They're your nice crisp ones. If we want to add it together, you can get something pretty cool. And let's just have a quick run of that. Okay. Flat fifth. Here comes our sharp fourth. Alright, really cool little digital pattern. As I said, practice it up, speed it up, and you'll get a bit more oomph out of it. Now, what happens though if we want to change it around and we want more color to it? So let's look at some of the notes that do change things up. And what I'm talking about here is your thirds. So your thirds will flip between major and minor as you walk through the modes. But then you've also got things like your seconds. Okay, so your second actually has two of the modes where it gets flattened. All right, and a flat second is right next to that root note, and it's quite off. All right, so it adds a lot of color. So let's just have a look at those now. So you've got your thirds. All right, so that's just playing through thirds. And your seconds are even closer. All right, sound a bit weird because you're moving up onto them. All right, so I wouldn't recommend finishing on a second. So just to get a feel for it, let's just run through 3 notes in a row. All right. So. All right. Now you can hear you've got a lot more color in that digital pattern. Now, once you've played with all that, then throw it out the window and have a go at the harmonic minor. Okay, so then you've got even more wild things going on. You start making digital patterns with that, then you're having a lot of fun. We'll leave it there, and I'll see you next time.